So you've decided you want to play vanilla, and you've decided you want to play horde. What roles do you have? You have tank, DPS, or healer. You've decided you want to tank. The only option that you think that you have, and that everybody's telling you that you have, is warrior. And they're not too far from the truth, but druid tanks are viable. My name is Powerful Noun, and in this guide I'm going to talk to you guys about vanilla tanking as a druid. What you can and what you can't do, the gear that you're going to need, the talents that you're going to want, and a couple tips. So we can hopefully make you successful in a 5-man and raid environment. So you've just hit 60 on your druid. Your next step needs to be getting your talents in order. Getting your talents in order is going to help you get into groups way faster, and it's going to help you farm your best and slot gear way faster. You're going to want to start with 5-5 ferocity, 2-2 brutal impact, 4 out of 5 feral instinct for threat generation and bear form, 1 out of 1 feral charge, 3 out of 3 sharpened claws, 2 out of 2 feline swiftness, 3-3 predatory strikes, 2-2 primal fury, 2-2 savage fury, 1 in the fairy fire feral, and 4 out of 5 in heart of the wild, and that's for the feral tree. In the resto tree, you're going to want to go with 5-5 furor, 5-5 imp healing touch, 2-2 imp enrage, 3-3 reflection. You can put 1 point in insect swarm if you want. This is simply for PvP. 2 out of 5 tranquil spirit, 3-3 improved rejuvenate, and 1-1 into nature swiftness. This talent setup is often referred to as the heart of the wild spec. With this spec, you can heal any dungeon or any raid, and you can tank all 5-mans, and you can raid tank some bosses. It's really situational. And you can also go straight into PvP as long as you get insect swarm and have absolutely no problem handling yourself. After you've got your talents in order, you can start working on your gear. You have a lot of options for gear, but mainly you want to aim for things that have high armor, high stamina. Afterwards, you want to look for agility, and then dodge, hit, strength, and attack power. Now, armor is your highest priority stat, and this is simply because of dire bear form. Dire bear form gives you a 360% armor contribution from all items. That means all items. Weapons, trinkets, rings, everything. Anything that has armor on it is going to give you a massive bonus, which is going to turn you into the big, beefy meat shield you want to be. And listed here are a few examples of items that you're going to want to keep an eye out for. Just these kinds of things that have armor on them. Unyielding Maul is pretty much the best in slot for you. Don't buy into the hype of Warden's Staff. This is pretty much the exact same item. Cloak of Warding is a crafted item. Thrall's Resolve you get from the Blackrock Depths quest. I mean, all these items are really simple to get, and they'll make you super duper beefy. So, some tips for you aspiring druid tanks out there. First, pre-hot yourself. Get a regrowth and a rejuve on yourself before you go into the pull. This is going to increase your threat generation by quite a bit, and it's going to help your healer out a lot too. LOS pull. Use Fairy Fire on a target to range pull them and then go around a corner. This is going to get all of the range mobs to come straight to you, and it's going to keep everything from turning into a gigantic clusterfuck where you're panicking, trying to taunt every single mob, and everybody on your team dies. That sends me into the next tip. You're not going to have aggro on everything all the time. That is the way it is in vanilla. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. You have to be okay with this. You can taunt on cooldown, you can maul targets to generate a ton of threat, but in the grand scheme of things, there's just really nothing you can do, man. So just do your best and keep the mobs off of the clothies. Don't worry about the melee that much. If a melee gets into a tight spot, or you can't get mobs off your healer, don't be afraid to War Stomp, Nature Swiftness, Healing Touch somebody. It's going to give them full health, it's going to generate a ton of threat for you, and it works out for everybody. Try to use Innervate on cooldown. Use it on your healer, use it on a ranged DPS that is having trouble keeping up with the group. Use it. It's a massive, massive utility spell, a great spell. Save it for yourself as well if you want to, but you're just being a selfish piece of shit. Try to maul every target if possible. If you get into a pull and there's more than one mob, tab maul, tab maul, tab maul. Maul is a massive threat generation. It's kind of like Heroic Strike with Warriors. It procs on your next melee attack, generates a ton of threat. So if you're having trouble keeping threat on stuff, try tab maul. Another great way of generating threat is Demoralizing Roar. As soon as you go onto the pack, you should be hitting Demo Roar immediately and swipe for really quick early threat on all the targets, and that's whenever you should get into your maul rotation. If you're having trouble tanking early dungeons, like starting in Blackrock Depths is really easy. You can do this in like questing greens and blues from the auction house. But if you're just not feeling it, if you're feeling like you're too squishy, don't be afraid to heal for your gear. You can straight up buy spirit gear from the auction house and go straight into healing any 5-man dungeon as a druid. They're great healers, and if you want to do that route, you can. I healed for a ton of my gear, and I ain't ashamed of that shit. The final tip I have for you aspiring druid tanks out there, or druids in general, anybody who's playing a druid, don't let anybody tell you that druids can't. Druids can do every single role in the game, from DPS to healing to tanking, and they do it well. Granted, there are plenty of fights where warrior tanks are way better than druid tanks, and the majority of the time people are going to take warrior tanks over druid tanks, but there are plenty of fights where druids excel, and if you have the patience for it, it's a really rewarding experience. Alright guys, that's all for me. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you learned anything from this video, hit the like button. If you feel like it wasn't in depth enough, let me know down in the comments. I can do an infinitely more in-depth guide, but I wanted to keep the video relatively short because I know most of you motherfuckers have short attention spans. If you like the content, subscribe to me. I do guides like this for other games. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more on World of Warcraft for now since Nostarius is back, baby! But it is what it is, so thank you so much for checking me out again. I hope you guys have a great day.